Following the Browns' pursuits here, or lack of pursuits here?
The Browns. Are they looking for another coach now?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Here's the thing with the Browns. I think we're almost to the point with the Haslams of the whatever phase now, where they don't have a coach, so fine, just go find another one. Let us know when you have them.
Right.
It's like you're sitting in your house in the summer with the windows open. You hear the guy next door trying to start his lawnmower, pulling the string. He can't get it started, and you're just listening to this. Oh, it's just like background noise as the Browns trying to interview a bunch of coaches and hiring one, and then
I made a suggestion to the guy who prints the signs. The schedule, the Browns schedules.
Yeah.
It'll go week 1 through 16, and I think for next year they should put week 17 coaching search.
Yeah, that's part of the yearly calendar for them now.
All right, so what do you think of it? We'll throw out some names here in a minute, but what in generalities, what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, how can anyone have any confidence that they're going to get the right guy? I mean, it's like this will be the 6th one in their 9 years of owning the team, so there's no reason to believe they're going to get the right guy, but maybe there is because they've gotten 6 wrong guys. So now the law of averages got to be working here now.
Yeah, but you also are in a position, and I don't know who the head coach is going to be, but the coordinators aren't around anymore, potentially.
Yeah, which may or may not be bad or good. It's like, you would think that a few of them will probably be held over by the new coach, wherever he is, but there tends to be a pretty big turnover in the assistant coaches, too, when the head guy gets let go.
I have a friend who said he thinks the reason they don't have a head coach yet at this point is because the coaches don't have confidence. Potential new coaches don't have confidence in Baker-Mayfield, and I think it's as much the other way around, that potential coaches don't have enough confidence in the Haslam ownership.
Oh yeah, I would say absolutely. I mean, I think Mayfield, despite the bad year he had this year, I don't think that people are writing him off now. But the Haslams, with this endless search for the right coach, there's plenty to be skeptical about their ability to ever find that person.
Well, I thought Dorsey had it made here, but apparently not.
Yeah. One bad, there was a colossal miss on Kitchens, but I still think their roster is much better it is now than before he took over. And if I would have just kept him and just said, yeah, it was a terrible miss on Kitchens, but you've gotten this roster. It's a playoff roster, I believe,
right,
with the right coach. And now, to just get rid of him, because you almost got the feeling that when they agreed to let Dorsey to hire who he wanted, that if it didn't work, they almost said to him, well, you can have Kitchens, but if this doesn't work, there's going to be some repercussions.
You'd also, and I know when Dorsey came here, and there was a decision on what they were going to do as far as interim coaches and regular coaches and all that stuff. One would assume that Dorsey had in his, I don't know why I say hip pocket, I guess that's the fashionable thing to do, but in his pocket you would think he'd have a list in order of who he'd want as a head coach, and it's hard to believe that number 1 on his list would have been Freddie-Kitchens.
Oh, I don't think, there's no way it would have even been on the list, much less number 1. But after what happened last year with Kitchens and the way the offense improved when he was calling the plays, I think he shot to the top of the list, and probably Dorsey reacted like the fans did. They got all excited about that, and he got caught up in the whole thing and said, well, yeah, let's make this guy the head coach.
Well, he shouldn't have.
No, he's not supposed to react the way the fans do. They're supposed to be the trained professionals.
Well, I'm convinced that Freddie-Kitchens would throw the challenge flag because he was a fan. He was hoping that the call was wrong. Yeah, I don't think anybody from upstairs says, all right, we convincingly have the right call here, throw that flag, and they never had it.
Yeah, he almost looked like a fan on the sidelines, like somebody just had wandered down onto the field and all of a sudden was calling the plays.
Nobody else wanted to do it.
Yeah, sure, I'll call a few.
All right, CBSSports.com has their rankings for the coaching candidates for the Cleveland Browns. Here's what they have. And I normally would say in no particular order, but apparently this is the particular order. Kevin-Stefanski is the leader in the pack, and that has to do undoubtedly with Pete Podesta. You've got Josh-McDaniels second, Eric-Bieniemy, Greg Roman, Baltimore coach, and Brian-Daboll, Jim-Schwartz, and Robert-saleh.
Stefanski, I wonder if it's tempting to him to just say, no, I'm not going to interview with you guys. You had your chance last year.
Yeah, you either want me or you don't.
You blew me off last year. Why should I come back again?
That's a good point.
Unless he's just really desperate to become a head coach.
There are some common links to Cleveland. You had Daboll, who was coach here, Jim-Schwartz, of course, back in the Belichick days.
Yeah. Yeah, he was there on that staff, the Belichick staff that we had
with Saban and
like it was an all-star staff that we didn't
So
know
is
at
Scott
the time.
Pioli, who's named as a potential general manager. Your top three, any particular order for you? Even if you don't have a top three, what you think the top three is?
I guess Stefanski. I kind of like that Saleh guy, partly because he's a defensive coach, and the freddie-kitchens experience has like scarred me. Like thinking, I thought this before Freddie, but I don't think it's a good idea to have the head coach trying to call the plays too, because there's just too much.
Especially when it's a rookie head coach.
Yeah, a rookie head coach, especially. Yeah, so Saleh's a defensive coach, and I don't know if typically those guys that are head coaches also call the defense, but it might be refreshing to get somebody on that side of the ball and let the offensive part of the team be run by the offensive coordinator.